All right, we're now up to where the police are at my home, and they go through my car. The lieutenant calls me, tells me watch the video, says it's no big deal. Apparently they're inside writing a statement, and my adult daughter wrote a statement against me, and I don't recall. It's all public record. I'm sure we could look it up and find out what it was. And the one time I talked to her, she says, or maybe twice I spoke to her, she says, "This is your recollection of what happened, Dad, not what happened." And because I was violent and angry, I was so violent and angry, I made one single push one time in 10 years, even though I was being held inside the house for long periods of time. Nobody seemed to care. Even though there was pushing back and forth, it was so moderate. It was re-engagement, and it was my fault. And I did not write a statement because I didn't think anything was going to come of this. And at that point, the police officer said, "Well, the engager has to go to jail." And I said, "Well, I don't want her to go to jail." And he said, "Well, that's you." And they took me to jail. And Amanda was completely on my side at this point. She went to the court. I was actually at that point not allowed to go back to my own home. So she had to go and request to get the restraining order removed. That automatically comes with this domestic violence, this domestic abuse that happened at this point. And of course, I had to spend 8 hours in jail so that I could cool down, not so she could cool down or anything else. So 8 hours before I could be released to stop the violence that never happened. And by the way, a little build up to this is Johnson County, Indiana, had recently had an offense by, and I'm not real sure, everybody can look this up, one of their prosecutor had some domestic violence offense, and this offense, he ended up getting away with it basically because he knows everybody, so they decided to strike down on that and not tolerate it anymore. So then people without a voice can become a victim to the police, and I was, in my opinion. So I went to jail. I did my 8 hours. So over the course of the next few months, I can't go home, so I'm staying at my girlfriend's house, Chrissy, and that's a little difficult. She also came with 4 children, and I was trying to, at every angle, I was still taking care of Amanda. We were taking calls. Chrissy was extremely jealous about it, so I wasn't really allowed to call her, so I was deleting calls, so then I'm not doing the right thing by anybody. It was confusing and chaotic, and so nonetheless, Amanda was going to court with me, and she continued to, basically, they knocked this down. I took this plea bargain, which I should have never taken, and 96%, and the statistic might be slightly off, but it's close, of all court cases are plea bargained. So it behooves the court system to flow you through and get a case on you, so they have a winning record and everybody looks good, and the judge doesn't care, the court system doesn't care, they make money off you. The people in the system continue to get screwed, while the people running the system don't give a fuck. So Amanda helps me. Amanda is supporting me. I'm supporting Amanda. Amanda's staying in the house. I'm not in the house. And I have to start going to a wife-beating class, which not only did I do well, but I helped other people in the class. The leader of the class, the therapist maybe is the word, really nice lady. I believe her name's Susan. I might be wrong, but I'd highly recommend her. Nice lady, good, real down to earth. Was like, "You're gonna get in more trouble with Chrissy. Get away from her. She is a problem." And she actually said, "You're going to go back to jail." And she was right. So a few months have passed. Time is not my friend here, so I cannot tell you. But after a few months, Chrissy also has an ex, not her ex-husband that was raping her, but an ex-boyfriend that had recently moved out, and she has her 4th child with. Good kids. She's a good mother. They're both good mothers. They're all good mothers. And Dylan lives down the road, and randomly comes over anytime he wants. We don't really see eye to eye. Of course, I have Dylan's woman, and I'm living with his son, and I get that he's not a bad guy, but nonetheless, the story I was given at this point, and at this 5-minute thing, I'm going to stop again, but I'm going to come to the Dylan incident.